morning. It's Tuesday, April 10th. This is Good Morning Blue Valley, and I'm Caroline Brady.
And I'm Lisa Boschert. Thank you for joining us today. With the recent warm weather, it's finally starting to feel like spring. With our current conditions, here's BVTV's DJ Wetter. DJ?
Thanks, guys. Definitely feeling like spring out there as we look at the current conditions. Currently 62 degrees, cloudy start to the morning. Looks like a high of 72 as we move throughout the day. The all-time record high for Overland Park on this day is 84 degrees. It doesn't look like we'll get close to that, but again, a pretty good spring morning and spring day. Chance of scattered thunderstorms later in the day. As we look at the current radar, you can see that the storms have stayed to our south thus far. Here's Johnson County right in here, and here's Stillwell specifically. They've stayed to our south, but they could get stronger throughout the day and work their way north as the jet stream is coming right across here. We'll have a better picture of that later on in the forecast. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, DJ. This past week, the Blue Valley Show Choir had the unique opportunity to travel to New York City and compete in a national choir competition. Here's BJ Kissel with the story.
They say the neon lights are bright on Broadway. On Broadway. They say there's always magic in the air. On Broadway. But when you're walking down that street.
Just recently, the Blue Valley High School Chambers and Classy Ladies groups traveled to New York City. While in New York, they participated in the Music Maestro Please Festival, where they were graded by judges who are internationally known for their show choir expertise. While the students were in New York, they were able to experience the sights and sounds of the Big Apple. This included tours of the world-famous NBC Studios and Radio City Music Hall, and the viewing of several Broadway shows such as Aida. The Chambers class performed their 4 show choir pieces, including Night Fever, One, You Can't Take That Away From Me, and I Got Rhythm. The Blue Valley High School Chambers class received a silver rating from the judges, in which only 8% of the groups that have ever performed at this festival have received in the last 24 years. The festival wasn't the only time they were singing. They were also able to see the sights and sounds compliments of a nighttime boat ride around New York City. And one of those very important trips was to MTV's TRL for the chance to be on live television with MTV. Overall, the Blue Valley High School Chambers class and Classy Ladies group had an awesome time in an awesome city.
They say there's always magic in the air.
One major spring activity that Blue Valley students look forward to is prom. At Blue Valley Northwest, the dance is always preceded by the annual mock accident, designed to remind students of the dangers of drunk driving. Here's Caroline Brady with the story.
It's in front of Blue Valley Northwest High School. 2 vehicles involved, one red, one gray. 1049 is en route.
The annual Blue Valley Northwest mock accident took place on March 29th. Students watched as classmates from one car were questioned by the police. Teens in the second car were freed from their vehicle and taken away on stretchers to be flown to a hospital. The driver never got there. He was pronounced dead on the scene. Real police, firemen, paramedics, and rescue teams participated in the role play.
We work with the SAD groups, police departments and the fire departments, depending on which district that the school is in.
I think it's very beneficial for people to see what we do. You see the news, the TV news, when these things happen, we're the ones that are there.
The students who were in the accident portrayed real victims in an accident that took place several years before.
I think I get it a lot more, and I just hope that everybody else does too, because I've never seen it done, so I don't know if it impacted them as much as it did me.
It makes you realize how lucky you are, like when you put yourself in a situation like that, and how lucky you are to have survived that, and now how conscious I'm going to be of not putting myself in the situation.
Organized by Students Against Destructive Decisions, the goal of the presentation was to remind those who watched of all the consequences of drunk driving.
1048.
We hope that they learn lessons to not drink and drive, not ride with anybody who drinks and drive.
For Blue Valley Television, this has been Caroline Brady reporting. The Blue Valley Education Foundation recently took some time to celebrate a successful year in the Blue Valley School District and to honor some local public figures. Here's Adriana Hopkins with more.
This past Tuesday, over 1,000 people gathered at Johnson County Community College for the Sunflower Celebration. This event, sponsored by the Blue Valley Educational Foundation, recognizes the achievements of Blue Valley students.
I think it is the best tribute to our children and to what we're trying to teach them for the head as well as the heart. I think we should be so proud to be part of the Blue Valley School District, and I am honored to be part of it.
Elementary and middle school students were recognized as ambassadors for exemplifying several virtues such as dedication and perseverance.
The student and teacher ambassadors, it's really one of the best awards that anybody could get because you're nominated by your peers. A student recommends a student and a staff member recommends a staff member. And we've got some wonderful essays that talk about the different virtues that these people represent that mirror those of the Blue Valley District.
I like getting the award because it makes me feel proud, and I think my parents are very proud of me too.
Lindsay Rankin, Dane Hansen, and Andy Shernick were awarded the Dr. James C. Thompson Scholarship in the amount of $1,000.
It's a great honor. You put a lot of work into the things that you do throughout high school, and you work really hard. You try and excel academically and get a lot of extracurricular activities in, and it's just it's a nice capstone to be recognized for all that hard work over the 4 years.
Roy Williams, KU basketball head coach, was presented with the Good Neighbor Award.
It feels very nice, to say the least, and the educational system is extremely important to me. I was a high school coach for 5 years, and I love teachers. They're my role models myself because they do so many things for young people, and for the Blue Valley Educational Foundation to honor me this way is something that's very much appreciated.
I think our community has time and time again demonstrated its overwhelming support for the school district. It's really gratifying to know that our community will come out and support such things as character and character education, because really, if we're going to have a great school district in the long run, it's because of the character and the qualities of our students, and that's what it's all about.
For BVTV, this has been Adriana Hopkins.
It's definitely good to see Blue Valley celebrating the good work they've done this year.
And thank you, Adriana. We'll be right back after this short break. Students from Blue Valley High School are busy preparing to help the community in a school-wide community service day, scheduled to take place later this month. Here's Katie Pass with more.
An administrator at Blue Valley High School, is keeping very busy in organizing a school-wide community service day on April 20th.
Our goal is to have 1,735 students and up to 200 adults all doing community service on one day.
One of the unique options of the day is that not only do students have over 40 different community sites to choose from, but they can also pick their own day as well.
We have students who are cleaning up entire neighborhood parks, cleaning up all the neighborhoods, the streets and the sidewalks around neighborhoods. And what's neat about that is students have actually taken the time to develop these on their own.
Getting the whole school organized hasn't been easy, but Scott Roberts hopes that it will all be worth it.
The other goal for the Community Service Day was to have students try community service for one day, and hopefully after they try that, maybe they'll spend a lifetime doing community service.
This has been Katie Pass reporting for Blue Valley Television.
Up next, a look at Blue Valley North's recent encounter with a baseball legend of Kansas City. Please stay tuned.
Welcome back to Good Morning Blue Valley. The Kansas City Monarch baseball team is a historic part of Kansas City history. With a look at the recent presentation by one of its most famous members, here's Samantha Horner.
There was a time when the Royals weren't the only baseball team in Kansas City. Baseball was segregated, and the Kansas City Monarchs were the Negro baseball team. Known as one of the largest black companies in the country, the Negro Leagues created a rich history in the Kansas City area, as well as in the United States. John Buck ONeil, a player for the Monarchs, co-founded the Negro League Baseball Museum to recognize the players of the league. This museum is located at 18th and Vine in Kansas City's Jazz District. Last week, Buck ONeil visited Blue Valley North High School with some advice and stories for the students.
What you got up here, that's what's going to count. What you got right there. And I tell you, you got to. Every one of you, I'm talking to every one of you.
Jason Schmoida, a history teacher at North, introduced Buck with a story of his own.
I grew up in St. Louis, and I learned about the great baseball tradition in St. Louis. I was a huge baseball fan. I learned about people like Stan Musial and Bob Gibson. I was lucky enough as a kid to see Lou Brock play, and that was a big thrill for me. When I moved here to Kansas City, I was about your age, and I learned about the Kansas City Royals, and the Royals had a pretty small tradition at the time. Their best players were still playing for them. What I didn't realize is the rich history Kansas City had in baseball. It just wasn't with the Royals, it was with the Kansas City Monarchs.
See, with the Kansas City Monarchs and the Negro League was a lot different than a lot of people try to make you believe, the soul of the game and the bingo long story. That wasn't the Negro League. The Negro League was the third largest black business in this country.
More than baseball, Buck talked to the students of North about the future, the importance of education, and he concluded with a song in which everyone sang along.
And all my life is loving you. Thank you, children. Thank you.
For Good Morning Blue Valley, this has been Samantha Horner.
Spring activities are finally in full swing in the Blue Valley District. With BVTV Sports, here's BJ Kissel.
Thanks, Caroline. Blue Valley High School's Emily Adkins is on her way to another great year of softball. Here's Georgia Chandler with the story.
Valley senior Emily Adkins is full of smiles. After being named All-Sun Softball Player of the Year in 1999 and First Team All-Sun Country 2000, she has a lot to look forward to in 2001. And she already knows exactly where her team is headed.
All the way to state.
She started playing softball when she was 5 years old with hopes of accomplishing more than her sister.
She was the best pitcher to ever go through Blue Valley, and she set all the records. And she told me when I came here I had to break them all.
But Emily has done more than break a few records. Opponents describe her as a nightmare to play against, while her teammates feel differently.
She works really hard. She never gets flustered. She's always positive, and she's always pushing herself and everybody else.
Earlier this year, Emily made the decision to continue her softball career as she signed with the University of Nebraska. But she continues to set high goals.
Still out for the team. We're out to win.
Be sure to catch the next edition of Blueprints for more on Emily Adkins. For BVTV, this is Georgia Chandler.
Blue Valley Northwest recently played Rockhurst in a clash between two great baseball schools. Here's some highlights from the game. Here's junior Kevin Sykes on the mound for the Huskies, with junior shortstop Greg Mundy throwing out the Rockhurst hawklet from his knees. Junior Jeff Slosher rounds the base hard. Back. Senior Pat Roberts getting congratulated by his teammates, while senior Chris Nicholas is driving the ball in the gap. Dive back in, senior Jordan Shaw. Steal attempt by senior Jason Flores. Another great play by Greg Mundy, junior shortstop. The game was won by the Blue Valley Northwest Huskies 3-2 in the bottom of the 8th. Last week, the three Blue Valley schools competed in a triangular meet at Blue Valley North. Here's a look at the action. North girls also won the Missouri-Kansas swim meet last Saturday. And also congratulations to the Blue Valley Northwest Huskies for winning the Hockey State Championship. That's it for sports. Back to you in the studio, guys.
Thanks, BJ. We'll be right back after this short break.
Welcome back. I'm Caroline Brady. It's often amazing to see the dedication and determination needed to overcome adversity, especially when these qualities are found in a child. With a story about a remarkable young girl beating the odds, here's Lisa Boschert.
First grade is a time where most children make friends and learn about the world around them. Olga Deckman is like any 6-year-old. From her love for singing to her excitement about socializing with friends, Olga is an average first grader. But Olga is also very special. She is different from other 6-year-olds. She was born with several disabilities.
The Olga-nator.
I want to bandit. But the first thing you notice about Olga is her smile. She is so happy, it's hard to believe that this energetic child spent the first 5 years of her life in an orphanage.
Well, Olga came to our house a year ago, July, and she came over from the country of Belarus.
When Olga came to live with Nancy and Gary Deckman and their family, she was only expected to stay for 5 weeks in America while receiving medical treatment for her disabilities.
Our kids, probably a couple of months after she was here, it was real obvious to them that this was a done deal. So we were going to do this. It was a matter of not so much if we would adopt her, it's when we would adopt her.
Throughout this past year, Olga has been receiving medical treatment to enable her to live a more normal life.
And she had the 2 fingers that were fused together, and they cut those, so now she really can use these fingers.
Olga's ability to use her hands changed the way she did things, but living in the Deckman's home changed Olga's entire life.
After being here in the States in this environment, I think it was going to be a significant culture shock. Plus the fact, given her limitations she's got, the opportunities for her were null and void. So at least here, not just with our family, but with here in this country, she has significant opportunities.
Watching her change as a person and watching her personality come out and watching her respond to love and affection and to a family. And I think we started to slowly see how she just was starting to thrive in this environment.
Olga is very similar as the other first graders. She came in and she's learning to read, to write. She's exploring numbers for the first time in her life, which is exciting. She's learning a lot about the English language, but very much looks and acts and sounds just like the other first graders. She just relates to the other first graders really well, and she's taught my kids a lot about hardship and overcoming it.
With Olga's new opportunity to receive an education and grow up in the love and care of a family, her future looks bright.
Olga is very caring, very loving, and very intelligent. And I think because she's here in the States, I believe that the technologies that are with us today, she will have all kinds of opportunities. And I think the other thing she really enjoys doing is singing. So that I think between the technology and her voice, and above all that, her spirit is unbelievable. You know, her spirit to live, her spirit to love, and she thoroughly enjoys every moment.
You are my sunshine, my only sunshine. You make me happy, 'cause you're great. You'll never know, Mom, how much I love you. So please don't ever take my sunshine away.
With her spirit, smile, and laughter, Olga has become the sunshine of so many people's lives. For Blueprints, this has been Lisa Boschert. And now, let's check back in with DJ Wetter with this week's forecast. DJ?
Thanks, guys. Cloudy but warm start to your Tuesday morning. Looks pretty good out there right now. Currently 62 degrees and cloudy. Throughout the day, we can see a chance of scattered thunderstorms. About 50% chance that these thunderstorms will materialize and move through our Overland Park, Kansas City area. High of 72 today, low of 60 degrees. As we look at the current local radar, we can see that the storms thus far have stayed to our south down near Chanute and moved south of Kansas City, just barely hitting southern Johnson County. That's where we're getting our cloud cover, but no precipitation or thunderstorms thus far this morning. As we get in a little closer, you can see that it's currently staying to our south. Everything's moving this way, but the jet stream is flowing right across Kansas City, and we could see some rain move in later on out to our west, and that's what will bring in the rain later on as we move throughout the day. As we look at the national radar, you can see the front line that is moving right across in here that has created the rain that has stayed to our south thus far, but that's the same front that will allow the wind to move up from the south into our area and create storms later on in the day, as we will see the jet stream move. As you can see, the National Infrared Satellite, which shows our cloud cover, you can definitely see the movement that's happening right now, and it looks like it's headed right for us. This only shows cloud cover, no rain thus far, but it's a definite trend that looks like it could bring in the storms later on throughout the day. Again, good temperatures, but it looks like the rain could be headed our way later throughout the day, so stay tuned to your local forecast. Wednesday, another chance of scattered thunderstorms. On Thursday, partly cloudy and high in the upper 60s. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday look about the same way, as we'll have a beautiful weekend, partly cloudy for your Easter weekend with highs in the upper 60s. That's a look at the local forecast right now. Have a great day, and back to you guys in the studio.
Thanks, DJ. You know, Lisa, we've only got one more thing left.
That's right. No show would be complete without the question of the week. This week's question: what teacher has most influenced you and why?
Teacher would probably have to be Mr. Purble, my English teacher, because I've had him for 2 years now after this semester, and he's taught me a lot on books and how to break them down. It really works out.
I think Coach has, because he has a big impact on the whole school. He contributes to the community and the students and his athletes.
My favorite teacher is probably Mr. Soden. I've had him for 4 years, and he taught me drafting, and now I'm in his 3D animation class, and he's really cool because like on Fridays we get to listen to like old James Brown and stuff in the class.
Mr. Schmoida has impacted me the most because I had his class first semester, the election class, and we got the opportunity to teach younger children, and that opportunity helped me solidify my decision in what I want to do with my life, and that's be a teacher.
Probably have to say Pat Fitzgerald, because he's been a great Wades coach and taught me a lot.
My favorite teacher would probably be Miss Lawhorn. She's my American government teacher, and she's probably had the biggest impact on me also because she knows what it's like to be a student.
Miss Schroepberger, because she's the nicest lady ever, and she helps all her students, and she's just the sweetest woman in the school.
We would like to congratulate the reporters and crews of Blue Valley Blueprints for their recent accomplishment at the National Scholastic Press Association Conference in San Francisco. Blueprints was honored with the Pacemaker Award for broadcast excellence.
Well, that's it for this week's edition of Good Morning Blue Valley. I'm Caroline Brady.
And I'm Lisa Boschert. Thank you for sharing your morning with us. We'll see you next time.